During the decision about the myomectomy versus hysterectomy, I was informed that even when I choose a myomectomy, so when I choose to keep the uterus, only remove the fibroids, there is still a chance that I may come out of a surgery without a uterus. So having had a hysterectomy. And it is not necessarily that the doctor went rogue. It might be that there were complications during the myomectomy attempt and they were forced to remove the entire uterus. Or it might be that they went in and saw something that could not be recovered. So I asked the gynecologist, do you ask my husband, do you ask my next of kin for permission to do that if you go in and have to make a decision during the surgery to do the hysterectomy? He said no, that before the surgery, so even before the anesthesia is administered, that the patient, so I would have to sign a release form saying yes, that I give them permission to perform a hysterectomy in an emergency situation. I am not certain whether there's an option to refuse that. I assume, otherwise, I would hate to think it's just a formality. I would like to think that you could say no, even if my uterus is crooked and diseased, leave it in there. I want to go to the grave with my stuff. I don't know. But the doctor said to me, it is possible, but it is not probable that they would perform this emergency hysterectomy. They just want me to be aware that it could happen. It's in very few instances that they are forced to do a surgery different from what the patient selected. So, of course, there was a whole lot of talk about pregnancy. The person is an OBGYN, so it is literally their business to be interested in whether the patient cares about childbearing. And first of all, I was told that I can't travel after the surgery. So I will have to stay in Barbados for about 4 weeks. He told me a month. So about 4 weeks after the surgery, because we don't want that I have any blood clots or any post-surgery complications. But aside from that, also, I must avoid getting pregnant within a year or two after the surgery. Now, for a person who is older and reaching advanced gestational age or whatever, that could be a major concern if being a mother, I'm bearing a child. If bearing a child is important, um, it was not significant for me, but it is still valuable because, of course, it affects a lot of the discussions that I have with my partner, and the conversations that I have within myself. Okay, so I'm so grateful for the information. The doctor asked me whether I want to have children, and I said to him, it is not a desire of mine. He asked me why not. I said it's a lot of responsibility that I don't want to take on. He asked me, are you afraid of responsibility? I said, I prefer my responsibility in manageable portions. I don't require excess. And I also do not live anywhere near my family. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I do not have a village in Toronto. It's just the two of us in an apartment in dead silence. That's not going to work. But of course, the doctor pressed quite a bit about that. And it meant that I felt as though the topic was being drilled. And I had to remind myself that this is his line of work. But even before that, when I first arrived at the office and the nurse took me in to fill out my admin forms with them, she said to me, how many weeks are you? No, let me backtrack. She said to me, do you have your antenatal forms? And I said, huh? I said, I sent the doctor everything I had. She said, okay, you have your antenatal papers though? I said, I don't even know what that is. And she looked at me kind of funny. She said, how many weeks are you? And I said, I'm not pregnant. She goes, oh, 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 oh. So then I had to explain that I was there for the myomectomy with the doctor. But clearly, pregnancy is what they would prefer, I guess, because that's their main business. So anyhow, no pregnancy recommended within a year or two after the surgery. I said I'm not interested. The doctor asked me, so what about my partner? And I said, well, he's currently not interested, and he doesn't know if or when he will be interested. To which the doctor said, well, a man can make babies at 90, but of course you have to make a decision for yourself sooner. And I said to him, if my window of opportunity expires, that is perfectly fine. The shop is shut, and therefore there's no more pressure, question, anything. When it's done, right?